Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, we have some details on Donald Trump's proposed peace plan that his team will reveal in front of the Europeans, which are not all the Europeans, are the Brits, the French, and the Ukrainians on Wednesday, this Wednesday. That is tomorrow, when they're going to meet in London. Well, some things sound logical, some things sound imbecilic. That's the first topic, the details. The second one, France and United Kingdom plan to gang on the American officials in London. They will put up a fight against the Americans. We'll see who's gonna win. Then we have France, who also says, which this is very imbecilic, that France and Great Britain, especially France in this case, the French foreign minister has non-negotiable. So those non-negotiable will be explained to the United States of America. So Europe has explained to US what is non-negotiable. Europe. Okay. Is Albania part of Europe? Nah, yeah, it is it? Okay. Is Montenegro? Yeah. Is Hungary? Slovakia? Yeah. Do you think all these guys explained to the United States of America what are the non-negotiable? Or who's Europe? Mr. French foreign minister. Again, lumping more into something that he doesn't represent. He's just a foreign minister, which I think he shouldn't be, but I think he represents Mbappe just fine. He is the foreign minister of France. That's it. So he can speak only on his name and when he's authorized in the name of France as a foreign minister. Not of a European anything. He's unfortunately, a foreign minister. And he says, our non-negotiable. That those non-negotiable, I have to break it to you, they're imbecilic. And the Russians will look and say, okay, well, if those are your non-negotiable, do they apply to me? Can I use them too? The same reasoning? Like, for instance, my interests are non-negotiable. Okay, can Russia say the same thing? And if not, why not? All right, that's why I say this, Mr. I can't remember his name, Barroso, the foreign minister of France, is an imbecile or a weasel, or both. All right, let's start with the first topic, which is the details of the ceasefire monitoring plan within Trump's peace initiative. But I'm going to start with this one right here. Right? Trump promises to reveal Ukraine peace plan. This is from 22nd of April 2025. Washington officials have had very good meetings with leaders in both Moscow and Kiev, according to the US President. The US President Donald Trump has said that he will reveal his plan to settle the Ukraine conflict later this week, according to the New York Post. The White House proposal could include the deployment of Western European troops to the country to uphold a possible ceasefire. You understand that? Well, do you think that's acceptable from the Russians' perspective? Of course not, because that is the root cause of why the Russians are in Ukraine. I know Russia invaded unprovoked and all that, so let's put aside science fictions and lies. Right? The root cause of this Ukraine war was NATO expansion, Western influence into Russia's sphere of influence. They know it, the other guys know it, only the baboons do not know it. If you don't know that, and if you still think why Russia, they tell you, invaded, then you deserve to vote in America, in a democracy. Okay? Let me figure out what the light is going on here. Ram pam pam, here we are. So, the root cause is no troops, no NATO troops, which is kind of European troops, in Ukraine. Let alone Romania, Poland, Baltic states, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Poland, and so on. No, let alone that. That's the next step. And these guys say, well, we're going to have these peacekeeping troops. Actually, they call it, what do you call it? To monitor. So they will just monitor, and they have a name for that, the ceasefire. That means we don't want your troops in Ukraine, but according to a ceasefire, you're going to have them. Something that I have been fighting a war for 3 years. That means I'm losing. No, you're out. All right, that's the first one. Let's see what the article has to say from Ukraińska Prawda. Ukraińska Pravda. New York Post learns details of ceasefire monitoring plan. So these guys are called ceasefire monitoring troops within Trump's peace initiative. And he has some good things in here. I already read it. Why? Because I was very interested in it. I usually don't read articles before I cover them. Why? I know what they say beforehand, just so you know, by the title and by the name of the media outlet. The New York Post has noted that the Joint Commission to monitor the ceasefire is being considered, excellent, as part of the U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan. It would include representatives of Ukraine, good so far, Russia, good so far, and a non-NATO country. That means these guys are just monitoring. So that means you're going to have three countries, three interests. Russia, Ukraine, okay, it makes sense. And then a non-European country. Now, if that non-European country is, let's say, Japan, no. If it's South Korea, no. If it's Canada, no. If it's Australia, no. If it's New Zealand, no. You know, for the good. Or Israel, no. Got that? So, if it's China, yeah. If it's India, yes. You know, countries like that. The problem is, these are to monitor. So you're going to have three. You're going to have three different opinions. The Russians will say, the Ukrainians violated the ceasefire. The guys, the non-Europeans, will do whatever they want to say. And the Ukrainians say, no, we didn't. Or the other way. The Ukrainians will say, the Russians violated. The guys in the middle, I don't know what they were going to find. And you're going to have the Russians going to say, niet, no, not me. So it's already a baboonish thing. I tell you who's going to monitor that. Russia. Okay. From the principle, that's a good move, but it has its problems. Although the details of the peace plan deal have not yet been determined, a senior administration official told a news outlet that they could include the deployment of European forces to Ukraine if a ceasefire is reached. That's a zero possibility from the Russians. No. And I'm quoting. The hard part is, what does a security force look like? Russian, I tell you that. We're calling that a resilience force, the official said. The resilience force is part of the security guarantees that the Ukrainians want and we hope they get. A separate force to monitor the ceasefire is also being discussed. It would be a joint commission of Russian, Ukrainian, and third non-European country, non-NATO country. The mission would monitor the front, North Korea, I propose. Or Iran. How about that? The mission would monitor the front line to ensure that both sides lay down their arms. Okay. The official said the US could also be involved, but not as boots on the ground, but a monetary force along with a third party. They should not be trusted, the United States of America. Sorry to say it. Remember, the Americans said they will not send howitzers to Ukraine. They said they will not send armored vehicles. They said they will not send HIMARS. They said they will not send ATACMS. They say they will not send Patriot. They said they will not send F-16s. They said they will not send tanks. All these things have been sent. Lie, 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 lie. So, no boots on the ground. That's exactly what I said regarding all the things I mentioned 32 seconds ago. They say it, they will do it. Why? A pattern. Or the possibilities. So you got it? The Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday 20th of April that Trump's proposal might also include U.S. recognition of Ukrainian Crimea. First, the Russians don't give a fuck. And don't you think, Americans, that you're gonna make a concession to the Russians? Oh my God, I'm gonna give you this. Now you give me that. I'm gonna give you Crimea. I'm gonna give you Crimea, which you already think it's yours. All right, remember who gave Crimea to the Ukrainians in 1954? It was Khrushchev. So back off. That's the first one. And the second one, they make up reasons or subjects, issues to negotiate. Suppose they have a token that I have here, an advantage, and I want that. That's a made up token. The talk of Crimea is dead, floating down the river bloated. It's dead, has been dead for some time. You're never gonna get that back. Russia will use nuclear weapons if anyone dares to even touch its shores. Okay, that's what it is. So I'm going to give you Crimea, but you allow our troops in. Are you crazy? What do you mean? It's like, hey, Emil, you're going to give me your car because I say you are a living creature. I don't want to say human being, but anyway, living creature. Okay? What are you talking about? And that's what about you give me? You give me some monopoly money for my car? Yes. Fuck off. All right, let's move on. Although the New York Post stressed it has not been able to independently verify this information, a senior Trump administration officials said on Friday, 18 April, that Kiev was most concerned of the land part of the deal during talks. And what do we find out here? The official said that Ukraine seems to be ready to give up 20% of its land if this is considered a de facto rather than the jure recognitions of the territory. That means there's not going to be on the paper. It's going to be, okay, we're going to take it back later. Right now, let it be. Don't touch it. We recognize it's yours for now, verbally, like we agreed with you that if you allow Germany to unify, we will not expand NATO one inch eastward, which we didn't do. Okay? So that's how the Russians should look and will look at it, I hope. Now this is another article from Sputnik. Trump's plan on Ukraine may include deploying European forces, reports. No, that ain't gonna happen. All right? So the hard part is, what does a security force look like? We call that a resilience force. It's the same thing as the other one. So they want these guys to be Europeans. It's gonna be no, because that's exactly why the Russians said no. Now, let's see how these baboons, the French and the Brits, coordinate their fight against the baboons in London. The baboons in London not being the Brits, they're being the American delegation that's gonna show up tomorrow. Now, if these guys from the US delegation will have balls like Trump, if Trump would show up, I guarantee you he's gonna push these guys around. But it's not Trump, it's gonna be Witkov. Witkov is a Zelensky-Stein, and the other side is Zelensky-Stein, so I'm not sure. And then you got Yermak-Stein, and you got Shmihal-Stein. I don't think this guy is good news. So that's the first one. And then Rubio is weak. Rubio is weak. That's my assessment of Rubio. He's tough unless you do like, huh, and he's all flinching. That's how I... First, why would you hire someone that you shame a few years back that he is weak? I'm talking about Trump shaming Rubio for being, I want some water, when the questions, it's exactly what he said. Oh, I mean, it was just campaign talk. Campaign. Well, if he's like that, that means that guy is not honest. Do you vote for a dishonest person? So that's why either way is bullshit. So if Trump did not mean that, it's just a campaign, what is that? You fool us? Exactly. So I don't like that. So no, he meant that he saw this guy give me some water, shaking, and these are the exact words Trump used. How do you think he would react when he's going to be in front of some, I don't think he was Lavrov. He said Xi Jinping or Putin. He's going to be all sweaty and that's your foreign minister now? I mean, who appointed that guy as a foreign minister? Really? You take a shit on him 8 years ago during the campaign, and now you appoint him on something that really requires poker face and toughness and diplomacy and cool mind and... No, it's Witkov who's in charge, not Rubio. Rubio just over there like a puppy. And U.S. Secretary of State. You are by the title. Not for long. They are coming for you. They are coming for you. All right, and let's see the coordination. This comes from Ukrinform. Ukraine, France, coordinate positions ahead of London talks. I think I said Brits, but it was Ukraine and France. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Shibkha and French Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, French Minister for Europe Affairs, Jean-Noël Barrot, have coordinated position ahead of international peace talks in London. I thought that this guy, the French minister, yeah, he's the foreign minister of, right there, French foreign minister. This guy is Barrot. So yeah, Noël Barrot is the foreign French minister, but they try to make it bigger. Ukrainian foreign minister and French minister for Europe. He's a French. So how things are. The European Union has a foreign minister commission, where all the foreign ministers for all the member states show up and they discuss the foreign policy of the European Union. So this guy is not French minister for Europe. Yeah, he goes over there as a foreign minister of France. As the German foreign minister, the baboon Baerbock goes over there. Or you have the Romanian foreign minister, of whomever is in the European Union. So he doesn't represent the European Union, but they make it that way. They attach it to seem more important. He's just the French's Mbappe foreign minister, and that's a good news for us, because it means they are weak, and you want your enemy to be weak and think they're strong. That's the best way. Best position to have them delusional. We're strong, but actually they're weak. Why? Because they're going to act upon their delusion. Therefore, you're going to fuck them up at the first attempt. You let them, you're so strong. If someone comes to rob me and he's got a gun, I'm not going to just boom something. No, you're so strong, Deshaun, you're so strong. Or Itzhak. Oh, no, they don't. No. You're going to challenge me with money. Want to take my money, but not like that. All right, let's say Deontay, oh, no, please. When he thinks that he is the big guy, do you think I'm going to be like, with the speed of light, yeah, pow! All right, just kidding. So that's what these guys, let them be. Les enfants. Let them be tough, big balls in their mind, and they're gonna drop their little BB gun they got, or the water gun, and they say, okay, I'm strong, and you slap them, bitch slap, poof, you don't even have to use a fist. All right, let's go back to our ship. So these guys, Noël Barrot, have coordinated their position ahead of international peace talks. International because there are four countries. Four countries, god damn it. That's why it's international. Again, you see how these guys make it? This is the French minister for Europe. And then international peace talks. How many countries? Is Bangladesh included? Are my friends from Zimbabwe there too? I know it's Honduras. I know Fiji. Are they involved? No. It's international as UFC is the world champion. I'm the world champion in UFC. All right. The same. I'm the Bellator's world champion. They're all world champion, but they have the little, 20 clubs that fight. 20 at the most. All right, but nevertheless. So, I just had a meaningful call with my French colleague and friend. Aww. If this Barrot says something that the Ukrainian doesn't like, tomorrow, Barrot won't be his friend anymore. We coordinate our positions ahead of important international events and the next step towards restoring a just and comprehensive, you already lost me, peace. Good for you. Just gang on the Americans and see where they get you. Unless this is a staged, we're gonna come talk, we're gonna argue, this is my peace plan, it's a peace plan, and actually they are all agreeing on, we play it, we're gonna give the Russians something that they cannot accept, not refuse, they cannot accept. When the Russian says, what are you talking about? No troops over there. They will say, we're gonna turn to the whole world and we're gonna lie. See, they don't want peace right there, there's the evidence. Why? Because they didn't agree with our peace, which we are the attacking guys. It's unbelievable how weasel-like this is. They create and they say, if you don't agree our terms, the losing ones, we want to, okay, then you are the ones who don't want peace. How about the other way around? If you have this right, why doesn't Russia have the same right to say, okay, this is my peace proposal, and if you don't agree with it, that means you don't want peace. Why shouldn't they have the same right as you? They should, if we live in the world they tell us we live. Fact-based logic and all that, not gut feelings and shit. So yes, I think it's a stage thing. They're gonna disagree to agree, and eventually they will agree on something. Send it to Russia. Russia will say no, and this guy say, okay, now, see, you can't talk with an imbecile. Must be stopped. He's crazy. And that's it. And the world will be like, change the channel. Click. All right, let's go to the last one, where the French explained to the United States of America, Europe, in its entirety, right here. Explain to the United States of America what is non-negotiable in Ukraine talks. But it's non-negotiable. Like, let's say, my woman is non-negotiable. Okay, but your woman is negotiable. This is what the Europeans told the Russians. The Russians cannot say my woman is non-negotiable, yours is. What are you talking about? I mean, again, we got the same thing, reciprocity. If we are to be just, didn't they say just peace? So if my wife is non-negotiable, your wife is non-negotiable either, too, as well. So let's see. French Foreign Minister, Europe, the entire Europe, has explained to US what is a non-negotiable in Ukraine talks. So let's see this baboon. Oh, how old are you, 12 or something? As someone used to say, my underwear are older than you, man. All right, he revealed that during the recent meetings in Paris, European countries, you know how many European countries were over there? The same guys, 3. France, Great Britain, and Ukraine. These are the European countries. 3. That's why when you hear, the European colonizer. I wanted to name them. We know who they are. 6 or 7. Do you know how many countries are in Europe? So I take offense. Because otherwise, I will expand it to you. If, let's say, you're Chinese, I would say, no, you're a colonizer. Why? Because you're a human being. By extrapolating it from 4 countries, 6 countries, 7 countries in Europe, the Europeans, when the Europeans colonized that, no, call them out. I will call them out for you, motherfuckers. First, Great Britain, France, Portugal, the Netherlands, Spain, Belgium. Germany was at one point, but was Johnny come lately. Italy. I'm listening. I'm freaking listening. How many countries? I give you 2 that I don't have in my mind. Okay, 10 of what? 40 some countries. Don't give me call them. Oh, it was the Congo. Don't give me the Europeans in Congo. You know exactly. Belgium. Wasn't Belgium in Congo? Give me Congo, Belgium, right there. Don't give me the Europeans. Or the Europeans in South America. Well, the Romanians, Europeans were not in South America colonizing it. Or in North America, mind you. So leave us the fuck alone. The same here. The European countries. No, 2 baboons and someone. Remember, before this thing in Ukraine, the Ukrainians and the Russians, besides I'm talking about the Western world, they didn't consider them Europeans. They would consider them something else. Now they consider them Europeans because they want their lands and their resources. That's the only reason. They barely considered the Romanians Europeans. We're something like at the margin, something like, I don't know, like not even, because look at us, you don't look European like us. Motherfuckers, when we were around, you were still picking up, coconuts from the fucking trees. Let's go. Here. Barrot stated that during the meeting in Paris last week, representatives of European countries explained to the US which aspects of the potential peace deal The only objective that concerns us is, right here, the only objective that concerns us is to defend French interest. Please put here, instead of French, put Russia. The only objective that concerns us is defend Russia's interest and European security. And he said European security, but European security is what exactly? You should have stayed out of it. First, why not planetary security? So from this, you go to the European Union, then you go to Europe, then you go to Eurasia, and then you go to and then go to the global. Hey, the interest of the global. Remember Trump said, I have to have Greenland because I have to protect the world. All right. So again, they protect their interest, right? It is the reason that as the US decides to place itself in a mediator position, correct. It placed itself from you losers, correct. Position that we make them hear what our red lines are, said the French foreign minister. Ready? He declined to disclose the specific issues that Europe has designated as red lines concerning Ukraine. Money, land, people to work for us. That's why the red lines, we need them, they are ours. Like Lebensraum of Adolf. That's exactly one thing. Remember, French interest, and Russian security. This is how weak people act. Alone, they are quiet. like let's say Estonia, Latvia, Poland, weak. When they have a big guy, strong guy right there, they will talk loudly. When that guy leaves the room, he becomes normal again. So the same with France. France, I'm sorry to say it, they will be having a new French people all over there. They will have the Mbappe. And they will get on your nuclear warheads. And when they will get that, they will understand that the European colonizers, a while ago, colonized their ancestors. So a little bit of retribution will be just, don't you think? Again, my friends, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.